YouTube. I'm James Brown, along with Coach Bill Cowher, Nate Burleson, and Matt Ryan. Folks, a quick snapshot look, if you will, at the NFL playoffs. Still a lot to be cleared up, but let's look at two teams right now that are going in the opposite direction. You got the Detroit Lions and you got the Dallas Cowboys. Coach, who has the best case going forward for making it to the postseason?
You know, I mean, obviously the better record belongs in Detroit, but if you have to talk about where they are right now, I just think the Dallas Cowboys, you look at that 3-game winning streak after they got off the bye, and the defense has performed at another level. You sit there and talk about C.D. Lamb and George Pickens and Dak Prescott. I love what Brian Schottenheimer is doing with his offensive line. This is a football team that might have the best kicker in the National Football League, an X factor in itself. So this is a football team, to me, if they get in, they are playing as good a football right now, entering into the month of December as anybody. The only thing I'll say about the Detroit Lions, Dan Campbell, like, they're resilient, and they're down, and they're tough. There's a toughness that's up there. But, you know, Dan's now calling plays. And there's a little bit of a different feel and chemistry up there in Detroit than there's been in the past. Some of the trickeration, maybe the timing has not been right. They're still trying to find their way, where I think right now, the Dallas Cowboys, they not only found their way, they're in that left lane. They're coming down there very fast. If you don't get out of their way and move over, they're going to run you over.
Yeah. I think about this, and I think the honest answer is, the hell if I know. For that playoff picture in the NFC right now, and the number of teams that are sitting there in the hunt, in the wild card spot, and you say Dallas, yes, they're 6-5-1. But it looks like they got to win 5 in a row to get in, to have a chance. I think their best avenue to get into the playoffs is not the wild card. I think it's Philly coming back to the pack in the NFC East. But then if you look at Detroit, I really don't know if they have a chance to win the NFC North, because you have Chicago sitting at 9-3, and they've separated themselves. Green Bay sitting at 8-3 and swept them. And then they have these 2 games coming up where Detroit, you know, is going to be playing Dallas next week. Yeah. Right? And so it is a mess in the NFC right now. But I think that's the beauty of the NFL, is that December is going to be just as exciting as January, because all of these pictures that we have at this point and how it's shaking out, with Chicago sitting at the 1 seed, we've got the Rams below them and Philly there. That's going to look different week to week. And the seeding and the structure of how all of these things shake out, I don't think we have any idea what the next 4 or 5 weeks is going to look like. If you had to ask me right now, though, who do I think has a chance of getting in? I don't think Philly's coming back. I think they're going to win, at minimum, probably 2 games, 3 games, which puts them at 11 wins. And Dallas would have to win out to get there. They've got Las Vegas, Washington twice. I think they'll probably win both those games. I think Detroit, if you ask me right now, I think Detroit maybe has the better chance of finding a way to sneak into the playoffs, even though they're not playing, in my opinion, as well as the Dallas Cowboys.
I agree with you on that. Listen, my heart says Detroit. That's coming from a completely biased place. It's my former team. I agree with you, Coach. There's something rhythmically off about their offense. Last year under Ben Johnson, he had a feel, like truly the pulse of not just his players and how he utilized the offensive weapons, but also like when and where to implement the trick plays that they were working on or that they were setting up for weeks in advance. And if they can figure out that offensively, they'll be just fine. Defensively, they have shown in certain games to step up and rise to the occasion. Now, you mentioned the Cowboys. They look really good. The question is, you know, is that going to be sustainable? And how will that look in the month of December? Yeah, of course, you know, George Pickens is turning into a 1A, 1B, 1B, 1A situation next to C.D. Lamb. And Dak Prescott, if you aren't paying attention, is playing some of his best football in his career. But the logic tells me Cowboys, and that's because I'm looking at this big 3 that they have, but my heart says the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's still a lot of football left to be played, but like I said before, I mean, somebody may come back to them as well in that playoff, and maybe if they get in as a wild card in Philadelphia, it does not come back to them. But this is a football team right now, like I said before, they get a mini bye because they played on Thanksgiving, playing their best football. Yeah. They have a chance to look ahead, and now they're getting prepared. This may be a playoff game against the Detroit Lions. This is what, to me, is a playoff game against the Detroit Lions. They get past that game, their schedule, I don't see anybody beating them after that.
I don't disagree with you. And it might not be enough, because Because as we look at the wild card spots, as we watch this right now, Seattle's winning 19-0. Right. They are well on their way to their 9th win. San Francisco already has their 9th win. Green Bay has 8 wins, but they have a tie. Right. So when you go off of win percentage, that tie counts. Yeah. Right. That's going to be helpful in terms of playoff and getting in or not getting in. I think you're probably going to have to win 12 games for sure in that playoff spot. We'll see how it shakes out. And theoretically, Dallas could rip off the next 5 and still not get in.
No doubt. And listen, some of the leaders of the pack could fall apart towards the end of the season. And I'm not saying that is happening or that has happened today, but it is quite the shocker that the Rams lose to the Carolina Panthers.
Put some respect on the Carolina Panthers.
Put some respect on their names. For real. And
they're a game out in the NFC, so they got a great chance to win the NFC South.
And there's going to be a few teams that make the playoffs that have nothing to lose and are going to be going into the playoffs swinging haymakers. And one of our favorites, somebody that's been leading the pack all season long, will get knocked out. That is my prediction.
And some of those teams that are up there, they're playing each other. The NFC West is playing each other.
The NFC West and the NFC North.
Hey, Coach,
there's going to be a lot of
let me ask you this. So as a coach, you're coaching a team that has been the lead dog all season long. In the month of December, how do you get your team not to get tight, as we like to say? How do you talk to your team? How do you practice? Because we're starting to see it a little bit. Teams are starting to really feel the pressure of the playoffs getting closer and closer. And other teams are playing free.
And that's the freedom with which I think you play down the stretch. I think if you're comfortable in your own skin, you're okay taking chances and taking risks. This is where you're at. You've worked to get to this position. You don't get tight as you get closer to that prize. You can actually loosen yourself up and be confident enough to say,
said than done.
Oh, no, but that's the narrative that you have to control in that building. It's like, you know what, I'm going to come in here and give you a game plan on Wednesday, man. Wow, we've never done this before. Right. You're right. And we're just starting that now because it is December and January. Because, you know, we're going to learn how to finish games or else we're going to be finished. That is December football.
The hard part, too, for both of these teams is that the teams that you're chasing have playoff pedigree. They understand what this time of the year looks like. Whether that's the Philadelphia Eagles, who whatever we want to say about their current play, they're still the defending champions. They know how to win a Super Bowl. The San Francisco 49ers, they got a lot of guys on that team that were a part of going to a Super Bowl. The Green Bay Packers have been in the playoffs seemingly every year since Matt LaFleur has been there. The one outlier would be the Seattle Seahawks, but they seem to steamroll everybody every week.
So you know what, as we head towards week 14 next week, still a lot to be determined. Hey, before we head out of here, let me ask the two of you questions because I've heard Matt's comment was put some respect on a given team. That also applies to working relationship. Matt Ryan made it clear to me before we started this, JB, I want to go first. I didn't go to him. I came to you. I've heard about player-only meetings. Do we need to have a co-worker-only meeting to make sure I'm on good terms with him or no?
No, you're on good terms with him. And you're on good terms. He's on good terms with us. Right. We're seeing the true Matt Ryan. We will set up a structure. We will talk about the way with which we do things. But he's going to be the quarterback and say, okay, that sounds good in theory. But you know what? I'm going to take over now and tell you exactly what's going on.
You never know exactly how a play is going to shake out. So you got to adjust, you got to adapt, you got to move with it on the fly.
And here's the thing. Listen, JB, I know that you know football, but let me explain it to you in basketball terms because it might be more digestible that way. We were in a timeout, and Matt looked at you. He said, JB, I'm going to be open, and I'm going to hit this shot.
Right.
We came out of it. You got the ball in your hand.
Right.
You looked at Matt, and then went to the coach.
That was called a no-look pass, though, Nate.
It wasn't a no-look pass, but it was kind of disrespectful.
Oh, my gosh.
So,
JB, we're cool. JB, we're cool. Don't worry about it, man.
JB, you were just fine. Everything you did was actually spot on.
That's because he passed you the ball.
That's why it was good.
Coach, I promise I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it.
Bye.